to that. I think personally, if you don't have some friends watch this right now, get more people on the line for this Arcadian, because man, people feel the pressure at this point. It's their one time to shine, and they're gonna let it show here on the mainstream. As now, the next competitors, we got MNI versus ToughLudwig. Interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so here, this is actually a really interesting matchup to see. You have Ike from MNI versus the Bowser Jr. from ToughLudwig. So
oh my gosh.
This is going to be such an explosive set. As you can tell, these two have the potential to put so much damage on each other. I'm really intrigued to see the stage pick as well, because I know that that's going to be monumental in seeing the first game between these two. I have actually seen these two play against each other. And the last time I saw it, it was very close. It was, I think it was 2-1 in ToughLudwig's favor.
Okay. I mean, that makes a bit more sense. I think that Bowser Jr. is a bit underrated as a character in general. And Ike is unfortunately properly rated, I think, by the community. He is, it's a little rough there in the things. But if you can make that sucker work, if you can nair to win, then you might just make me a believer at this point. And maybe we can get MNI to have his run back. Oh my goodness. I was wondering, okay, that makes so much more sense for the ToughLudwig tag there. I was thinking like streamer Ludwig, what we were going for there, but no. Literally Ludwig, the Bowser Jr. character. I see. Okay, makes sense. Perfect. Well, I think we're going to run forward with that then. Make this happen. Getting into the PS2 at this point, and immediately we're double jumping on shield to bait things out and almost dying. Okay, cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Just going for the aggressive option here for MNI, trying to get some quick damage here. Not going to get anything off of that up B just yet. We're going to get the grab, actually. That down air going to put some damage here as ToughLudwig going for a little bit of a ladder, not able to get too much off of it. But MNI coming out swinging with the nair into the fair, and now coming back here to the center of the stage, going to get hit with a little bit. But as you can see here, ToughLudwig is already at a pretty reasonable amount of damage. Going to even things up just about, though. MNI just sort of jumping around ToughLudwig and able to get so much off of that. Yeah. Oh man, but that reversal there from the abandoned ship, absolutely wonderful there to see from ToughLudwig, especially at center stage.
Yes, absolutely correct to that one. Okay, and we're going to see some nair combos here as well. Boy, we threw it a side B right there into the shield. Good stuff from MNI. This is giving me melee Marth forward smash type vibes from this Ike main right here. And honestly, that is a terrifying thing to go up against if you are ToughLudwig. Finally, just taking the stock off the top with that. I think it was either up air at that point. And let's see if we could close things out and reply for MNI. Not quite able to do it just quite yet, though.
Yeah, as you can see here, MNI going to get comboed just a little bit here, going to get some damage here, and now ToughLudwig is at a pretty killable percentage. If you are a character like Ike, ToughLudwig going to go for that reversal yet again here as MNI recovers back to stage, only to get hit with the Mecha Koopa here, sending ToughLudwig up above into the upper area of the platform yet again. ToughLudwig coming back out, and now MNI charging back here to the center of the stage, going to utilize the shield here, but unfortunately just going to get armored through there with that clown card. All right, up B there, going to seal not seal out the stock just yet. However, ToughLudwig is now at full rage, so if I were MNI, I would be super scared, going way off stage for that. And unfortunately going to lose the stock anyways. He was very brave, but not able to get it just quite yet.
This is my favorite thing. Just seeing an Ike that is doing his best to edge guard at this point. Man is locked and loaded, but now ToughLudwig is in such a great position here too. Getting 29 and counting onto this here combo. The man is looking dominant. And like you said before, he took the first set that you saw before between these two, and it looks like he wants to have a repeat performance in this one at this point. But, okay, swatted away at this point, and we're charging the neutral B, but our clown cart is going to get us by with just a little bit to spare and take not quite the stock right there, but we are hanging on by a thread at this point as MNI.
hanging on by a thread for sure. However, MNI does seem to be utilizing a lot more mobility here. Accidentally going to get hit with that Mecha Koopa, sent way off stage yet again. And here comes ToughLudwig with yet another Mecha Koopa. Not going to get that up smash though, as we are coming back to the other side of the stage to recover. However, that is going to be game number 1 to ToughLudwig. Now, what I am going to say though, that was a pretty scary game for a long time for MNI. But I think that what you saw from that sort of reversal of the situation is that he has the ability to recover. Now, ToughLudwig, a pretty strong opponent in their own right. However, there is a lot that I think Ike can do in this matchup. And I don't think that it's curtains yet for MNI, is what I'll say.
Okay, no, I agree with you on that one. That a little tricky little thing at the end there, Z dropping that little Koopa guy in order to go into the back air. I like that out of Mr. ToughLudwig. There was a time in the middle of that match that I was counting the amount of side Bs MNI did to the middle of the stage. I was trying to count. Yeah. It was a lot. It was not quite double digits, but I think we were close. But
it fit on one hand, and it took up my entire hand. I did also count.
That is amazing.
So unfortunately for MNI, I think he just put himself in a bad spot a lot of times. And as Ike, it's really bad if you put yourself in a bad spot, because then you don't have anywhere to go, especially versus a character like ToughLudwig. But going into the set, you do see MNI coming out swinging, going for the advantage state pretty quickly, and getting some damage here. Going to get sent to the other side of the stage though by ToughLudwig, coming out swinging though, but MNI still able to recover and getting some more damage here. However, going to just kind of find himself like the ping pong ball, just sent to each side of the stage here by ToughLudwig.
I think that's really well said. We're playing the game here at this point, and oh man, oh no, Regular gets up into the drills there too. ToughLudwig is doing so well in this matchup, continuing these strings on here. Already 62 put onto the Fire Emblem man himself. Unfortunately, he is struggling in this one. He needs to figure out some things fast, because ToughLudwig he's trying to make a run this bracket, but okay! All right, the up air swing out of nowhere, and that's going to even up the stocks.
Absolutely, and wonderful to see that at such a comparatively low percentage here from what we saw game 1, because game 1 you saw ToughLudwig getting up to like 178%. That's kind of scary, especially if you're Ludwig, or rather if you're Ike. However, going into this, Ludwig going to get some pretty quick damage here. She's going to just continue to edgeguard MNI to oblivion, essentially. Going to go for that grab through the shield, and then into the berry here with the drill, and now, yeah, going to unfortunately miss that grab here for MNI as he's just trying to come back in, get some aerials going there, getting some damage, and now he has the upper hand with ToughLudwig off stage, going to go really deep for that abandoned ship here to come back to stage, and actually going to air dodge away from that fair. So wonderful awareness from ToughLudwig to be able to do that, and now to go for a potential punish themselves. As I was saying.
Honestly, that was crucial for ToughLudwig to take that right there. You do not want to deal with an Ike at full rage at all. But now, with that stock being taken, ToughLudwig can pile on percent like he's doing right here. Alley-oops to himself with the Mecha Koopa, and he knew that it was coming to the middle of the stage right there. Calls out the recovery. Things are swinging worse and worse out of control for MNI. But, oh my gosh! Calls out the neutral B with the swang right here. Just when I count MNI out both times, it looks like he's making a bit of a statement into this game.
I think it's absolutely wonderful to see that he's still able to call out his opponent even at a time like this. You can be down a stock and you're still finding these stocks for yourself. That's absolutely wonderful to see. Anyways, going in for some aerials here, getting some big damage on the board, trying to get something started. However, ToughLudwig approaching getting MNI to kill percent pretty quickly here, and just going to continue to rack on some of this damage. MNI just kind of jumping to avoid the Mecha Koopa, but unfortunately limiting a lot of his movements, but has the potential here to get something big. As you can see, ToughLudwig trying to stall, trying to regain spacing, however, not going to get that aerial now. MNI coming back, but that up smash, though, going to seal out game number 2, and that is a clean 2-0 on the board for ToughLudwig.
Man, I really liked what I was seeing there from MNI for a bit. He knows the way that you get wins with Ike. You gotta swing for the hills, like you were saying. He's got to make those reads and pull off those crazy callouts. But just one unsafe aerial on shield spelled disaster for Ike, as unfortunately the up smash from ToughLudwig is going to take the set in a 2-0 fashion right there. It was decisive too. Like there were a couple times that it felt like he pulled some stocks out of a hat out of nowhere at MNI, but for the most part, ToughLudwig was very much in the driver's seat for that set.
Yeah, I think absolutely. That count that you started with how MNI was recovering to center stage as Ike, that's a really dangerous thing to do, especially against a character with the mobility of Ludwig. So, absolutely put himself in a bad spot, and it was sort of difficult to recover from there. But we did see that fighting spirit of this Fire Emblem character. We saw some
Mhm.
really excellent reads. The way that he was very aggressive whenever he got the advantage, he was able to put on so much damage and absolutely make it count. So,
100%.
yeah, so we did see some pretty good stuff. However, did not get his run back like I'll bet he hoped.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And that just means that the next time they meet, there's going to be that much more of a fire burning in MNI's heart. He's going to want it that much more. But for ToughLudwig, he will advance further into the bracket of this Arcadian. And that means he's actually cemented himself into top 8 with this one. Well done from him. And he's going to be going ahead and facing the, XII 13, I believe, in winners semis coming up soon. But we have a couple of the top 8 matches before we can get into that happening. Top 8 qualifying matches before we can make that happen.
Yeah, for sure. And we have so many other hype things to see today. This was pretty fun, but we've got a lot